Oh, don't mind me everybody, just enjoying a nice cup out of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows collectible cup that I got this weekend. Yes, I did go check out the new movie, and it was pretty awesome. If you like cartoony style, beat-em-up action, this is definitely a movie you want to go check out. It kind of harkens back to the original days of the 80s cartoon series as well, so there's a lot of nostalgia factor in it. They've included such classic characters as Bebop and Rocksteady, Krang is in there as well, and just a lot of fun action. If you like that kind of stuff, this is definitely one that I would say you want to go check out. And I did choose the Donatello Cup Topper. I don't know if it's going to focus in on him or not, but hopefully it will. And arguably, Donatello has been the best turtle the entire time, simply because he's the one that makes all the weapons and devices that the turtles use during their adventures and fighting their enemies. And if it wasn't for those devices, how would they win exactly? You know, so many times these devices and weapons have come through as the thing they needed for victory. Of course, I do realize, being the heroes that they are, they would still find a way to win. But I like to say Donatello is the best because he's been my favorite ever since I was a kid, and that has stuck with me all through the ages. But we're going to put this to the side right now. As I said, I think in one of the Pokemon Blue episodes, I'm not a professional film critic reviewer kind of guy, but as a regular moviegoer, I say it was pretty awesome, and you might want to check it out. So, with that out of the way, it is now time to start on the news update video thingy for Monday, June 13th. Now, as always, we're going to start off with the mention of the booster pack that I'm going to be opening in this video. It is from Primal Clash of the Pokemon TCG expansion. So, I'm going to give the code card out to a lucky viewer, as I always do. For your chance to win that code card, as I open this pack at the end of the video, stay tuned. I'll give a question of the day, which you can respond to, and use hashtag QOTD in response to the question. And you have a chance to win the code card that will be drawn for on Sunday, June 17th. Now, as I always do, we're going to start off with last week's question of the day. The question was, and just sort of feedback from you guys to see what you want to see on this channel, would you like to see me start featuring top-level competitive decks in Pokemon TCG videos? Because as you've probably seen along the way, I like to put creative, unique strategies together, things that can possibly topple the Pokemon EX decks out there. And quite often they work, sometimes maybe not as much, but I have more fun doing stuff like that and not following the crowd, so to speak, doing my own thing, kind of being a black sheep, I guess. But anyways, the responses were pretty much unanimous. I think there was 3 responses and everyone was in agreement with the fact that you guys like the way that I'm doing things on my channel with my unique strategies. And I really appreciate that. I want to say thank you for everybody that gave their feedback. And congratulations to Unknown Spike, who was the lucky winner, who had their comment drawn for winning the code card from the Phantom Forces pack from last week. And Unknown Spike went on to say, "No, I like what you are doing right now. It's great to be unique, and I want to see what strategy you come up with the Pokemon cards that are not EXs. So, as I say, I want to try to get some ideas out there for everybody, get some ideas how you can deal with Pokemon EX without resorting to them yourself, because as a kind of a not casual player, but like more old school player, I guess you can say, I like to stay away from the Pokemon EX if I can, because a lot of times they're almost a guaranteed win, and I like going for more challenging wins. I want to be able to feel victory, you know, feel accomplishment in my victories, I should say, and using EX is sometimes a little too easy. So anyways, that's the way I like to play it. And Unknown Spike also did mention, or go on to mention, have you forgotten about the Charizard and Darkrai mythical collections? Now, I did have a couple of collection boxes that I have not opened on the channel. The reason was I was holding on to them, but now some new collections have come out that have taken their place, and these ones are going to be the online, or the in-video giveaways for viewers when we hit certain subscriber counts. So, they were referring to, I originally had a Darkrai mythical collection for the month of May. Now that we're into June, though, it's been replaced with the mythical Pokemon collection of Manaphy. And this one I'm holding on to if I hit 700 subscribers before the next one comes out, at which point I'll open this in one of the news update video thingies and give a code card out as one of the question of the day responses. Now, as I mentioned as well, I did have the Charizard collection, and we do have the Blastoise now. So Blastoise is taking Charizard's place. This one I'm holding on to until I hit 1,000 subscribers, if and when it does happen, at which point I'll be doing an unboxing, giving this code card out in a video as well. But I also want to pick up another collection box and mail a physical copy to one lucky viewer once we do hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, feel free to do so. The more subscribers we get, the closer we get to opening these boxes and giving some stuff out to you guys as a nice little throwback and a nice little, what do you want to say, like thank you for supporting me and being interested in what I have to say. I do these news updates, I've got the Pokemon TCG videos, not the Wi-Fi battles for the moment, but they will be back. I'm currently doing Pokemon Generations playthroughs of Blue, soon moving into Silver, and I've started up on Pokemon Stadium this past weekend if you haven't seen that yet, so go back and check those out. Anyway, all that being said, where am I at now in my news here? So yeah, I'm going to keep up using the unique strategies that I like to put together for the channel, but in a way, I'm still going to start featuring some top-level decks if things work out well. because what I want to do is, now that the Heroes Beacon Pokémon League that I professor at is starting to branch out a little bit more, we want to start doing these official league challenges where players can get championship points. And what this means is we're going to start doing some possible ladder-style tournaments of single elimination, basically where, think of it like you've probably seen things like this in movies and cartoons or whatever, where you start with 8 players, or there's other, what am I saying, there's other online tournaments that do this anyway, but there's, say, like 8 players, 1 versus 1, the winner moves on to the next part of the ladder, and the loser is out. So eventually we're going to get to stuff like that at Heroes Beacon. What I want to do at that point is record the final battle of one of these ladder-style tournaments, and then have a sit-down interview with the winning player and talk about their deck strategy. Because we see a lot of top-level decks at the Heroes Beacon Pokemon events. One idea I have with this is, if I do start featuring some top-level decks and highlighting the classic strategies and the winning strategies that people go with into the bigger championships like the World Tournament, then I could draw some more people into the channel watching that video, possibly branching out to watch some other videos that I have, and maybe giving them some unique ideas from the personal strategies I put together with the TCG. In a tiny, tiny, tiny small way, maybe I, of all people, could help change the overall meta of the game and show the world you don't need Pokemon EX to win. It's probably not going to happen, but there is a possibility. But anyway, I will at some point start featuring these kind of things as the league at Heroes Beacon gets bigger to warrant stuff like that. But I want to say again, thank you for everybody that gave me the feedback. I really appreciate you guys, appreciating the videos I put together and the non-EX strategies that I like to feature. So let's get on to some more general information here. First of all, there's been a couple things people have been asking about for the past little while because I've been mentioning them regularly. The Pokemon Trainer Club newsletter for June. It should have been out on the 10th of June from what I've read online. I haven't received mine yet, and it's currently, what did I say, it was the 13th. I already lost track of the date. But I haven't received it yet. It's supposed to have gone out on the 10th. I've heard that other parts of the world have gotten theirs already, and this is the newsletter that's going to have the code to download the Pokemon 20 Mew if you didn't pick it up by the code card giveaway at GameStop or other game stores around the world. So if you don't have yours yet, it's still supposed to be coming. I haven't received it yet either, so don't feel bad, because if you yourself haven't gotten it, I haven't gotten it, chances are it hasn't yet been sent out, but hopefully anytime now it should be sent out. What we do, however, have is another thing people have been asking me about. The Johto Classic results have come in, and Whitney's Miltank has been distributed. And we're going to take a look at that in a second, but first I'm going to mention how I personally did in the Johto Classic. Not the best, as I expected, but I did place, 19,237 out of 19,000, I'm just kidding, out of 24,053, so 24,000 players participated. I was in the 19,000s around there. Based on percentages, I was about 20%, so pretty low down there, but I had fun, I learned some things. Didn't have as much fun on the first day when I was getting swept by electric types, but anyway, that's all beside the point. That's in the past, We're talking now today. Anyway, so about 20% success rate. I wound up with a 1445 rating with 12 wins, 18 losses, and the important thing is, however, I did get Whitney's Miltank, and I have downloaded it right now. Let's take a look at the data screens for this Pokemon. As you can see here, she comes in at level 20. She's in a Cherish Ball, of course. The moveset of Rollout, Attract, Stomp, and Milk Drink. So that is the classic moveset that Whitney's Miltank had when you took her on in Goldenrod City back in Johto. Gold and Silver, way back then. And she has the Scrappy ability, making normal and fighting type moves hit ghost type Pokemon. It's interesting that we didn't have abilities back in Gen 2, so this would make things, like if you went into Whitney's gym with a ghost type back in the original Gen 2 games, you had a bit of an advantage. Now, not so much. So we'll take a look at the particular nature mine has. It is a modest nature, which increases special attack, lowering physical attack. That's not really the best nature to have. But you know what? It's a giveaway participation prize for the Johto Classic. I'm totally okay with that. And that is Whitney's Miltank in a nutshell. So if you participated in the Johto Classic, log into your account on the Pokemon Global link. You should have a message near the top of the screen letting you know the code that you can enter to download your particular copy of Whitney's Miltank. To do so, you go to your mystery gift option on the main screen of your Pokemon X, Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire game. I think it's all 4. Choose mystery gift, like I said. Select get via, is it internet, and then you choose code. Either way, you're going to have an option to enter a code. It'll ask you for, get via code, whatever like that. And you put in the 16-digit code, numbers and letters, that corresponds to your particular copy of Whitney's Miltank. And you'll finally get your participation prize giveaway for that competition. Alright, with that out of the way, there's a few big announcements to make regarding the world of overall premier events in the world of Pokemon coming up. First and foremost, registration for the U.S. National Competition has been opened right now. It ends on June 24th, and limited space is available, so if you want to participate, make sure you get yourself registered as soon as you can to secure yourself a space. There is certain requirements of play points, which I'll mention in a minute, so you might not yet qualify, but hopefully you will. Play points are kind of minimal, so you're not going to have too much of a problem getting in. It is open for TCG, video game, and Pokémon tournament players, so if you play any of those games, you have a chance to register for the U.S. Nationals. They're being held in Columbus, Ohio from July 1st to 3rd. And as I said, registration ends on June 24th. So, as I said, play points will be required. If you're going to enter into the TCG, a Masters player will have to have 5 play points in their online account, and Junior and Seniors will need 3 play points. If you're entering the video game, Masters need 3 play points, and the other 2 age divisions of Junior Seniors need 1 play point. You get these play points by attending other premier events and having a Pokemon Trainer Club account set up with your player ID, and you get your play points added to your account by participating in the competitions. Now, there is a fee. Let me try that again. There is a fee for participating in the U.S. Nationals as well. If you register online, it's going to cost $30 if you're in the Masters Division, $15 if you are the Juniors or Seniors, and you get entry into the event, and you also get a premier exclusive. I'm going to say exclusive. You get an exclusive U.S. Nationals lanyard, which is a little ribbon thingy that you can hold around your neck with a name tag thing. So you get the lanyard and a special playmat as well. For an additional $30, players that register online can get a special exclusive U.S. National deck box, card sleeves, and a pin as well. Now, switching over to the next page of my news here, because there's quite a bit. If you register on site at the national event at Columbus, Ohio, June 1st to 3rd, it'll cost $45 on site for Masters, $30 for the other age divisions, Junior, Seniors, and additional products will be announced as we get closer to the date. I don't know what those are just yet, of course. Like I said, they will be announced. Anyways, if you are in Canada, which I wanted to make a mention of, because I'm Canadian as well, and I find it kind of unfortunate that there's not as much highlight of Canadian events on the Pokemon website, because when you choose a country, you can choose the Americas, and US is the only selection there. They don't have a specific one for Canada. It's kind of hard to find Canadian information on the Pokemon website, but I did my best, and I did discover that the Canadian Nationals are going to be held in Kitchener, Ontario, starting Saturday, June 25th. From what I gather, it seems to be just TCG only, but there might be a video game option, which I wasn't able to find myself. And for more information on the Canadian Nationals, go to skyfoxgames.com, which is where the event is going to be held, and they have more information on how to register and what format they're going to be using and stuff like that. So feel free to check that out if you're in Canada looking to attend the Canadian Nationals. There might be different play point requirements for that as well, which I'm not sure of just yet. But anyhow, what else is there to mention? Well, talking about premier events and earning these play points, a shiny Mewtwo will be available for people that have played in the Pokemon premier events in the 2016 season. So this shiny Mewtwo will come at level 100 with the Unnerve ability, which prevents the opposing Pokemon from eating held berries during battle. It's going to be holding the Mega Mewtwo Y, allowing for Mega Evolution into Mega Mewtwo Y. The moveset is going to be Psy Strike, Psychic, Recover, and Aura Sphere. Pretty solid moveset for a level 100 Mewtwo, especially a Mega Mewtwo Y once it Mega Evolves. To earn this shiny Mewtwo, you have to earn 1 play point in the 2016 season before July 10th, which means if you're going to be participating in the U.S. Nationals, you have a chance to earn a play point there, although I guess you need the play points to even participate in that to begin with, so forget that. If you get to attend an event before July 10th anywhere, get a play point. You're going to be able to become eligible to receive this shiny Mewtwo, and the code is going to be sent in an email based on what email you have registered in your Pokemon Trainer Club account, which you need anyway to get a play point. And redeem the code by August 21st, and you will receive your shiny Mewtwo with a hidden ability and that moveset that I just mentioned. So it's kind of cool. Just got to earn yourself 1 play point. And now in TCG news, the biggest news right now is that the new expansion of Steam Siege has been announced for the US release date of August 3rd. And this new set is going to feature 110 new cards, 6 Pokemon EX, 2 of which will be Mega Evolutions. One of the ones they do mention is a shiny Mega Gardevoir EX. Very nice. I don't know what moves it's going to have. If it's going to be sort of like a reprint of a previous one, just with a different art, who knows? We won't know just yet. And there's going to be, now, what I think is kind of interesting, I've been noticing a trend where TCG expansions will feature a kind of a new idea, new gimmick sort of thing for 3 sets and then switch to something else. We had, what was it? Before the Ancient Origin, or sorry, before the Ancient Traits, I can't remember what came before that, but with Ancient Origins, Primal Clash, and Roaring Skies, we had 3 sets of Ancient Trait Pokemon. That seems to have stopped right now. And I thought, okay, so we're going to have 3 sets of Break Evolutions, which we've already gone through. However, Steam Siege is going to feature not 5, but 7 Break Evolutions from the new Pokemon. It's going to provide so much more content for my channel once they come out, because I do like to feature the Break Evolutions above the EXs. But anyway, so 7 new breaks. They do mention Xerneas Break and Yveltal Break are going to be 2 of these particular Pokemon. The other 5 we don't know just yet, but a nice new feature in this new set is going to be Dual-type Pokemon. We will take a look at them in a moment, but basically these Pokemon are going to have 2 types on their card, and it's going to provide additional super effectiveness to your opposing Pokemon. If the opposing Pokemon is weak to, say, Fire, and you have a Fire-Water type out there, despite the fact that you're not pure Fire, you're still going to get your super effective ×2 damage off on that Pokemon, because it shares it has a weakness to one of those 2 types. Now, it's kind of cool. This is not a new feature exactly in the world of Pokemon. We have had dual typing before. I've got a few examples here to showcase. First of all, I think it was the Team Rocket Returns set, we have 2 Pokemon here, and hopefully this will focus. We have Dark Gyarados and Dark Weezing for examples. The logos are a little bit different, the type images, but it shows a grass or water icon in like a darkness kind of a bubble, so indicating 2 types. And we also had Delta Species Pokemon for several sets as well. I think these were like for 3 sets. You'll see these, like some of them were like, essentially these were the same Pokemon we've had before, but different typing for them. And some of these Delta Species Pokemon had 2 types. You see Pidgeot here was, I believe, a Metal and Lightning Pokemon, and what is it? Mightyena had Darkness and Metal as well. But they had a little icon down beneath. You can see there it says 2 different types. It tells you what 2 types they are. Anyway, so it's not a new feature, but as far as the standard format rotation goes, this is kind of a new feature, and it's going to be standard legal. However, I'm going to say my favorite dual-type Pokemon that has already been in existence for the past little while, from Ancient Origins, good old Golurk. I've used this on a couple of occasions. You might have seen it in last week's Pokemon TCG live online match, in which I was using it as a part Psychic Fighting type. Basically, the card here says, while this Pokemon is in play, the dual-type ability says it is both Psychic and Fighting type. So we have had a dual-type Pokemon before. I've mentioned the whole fact of, since it's a Fighting type, it resists its own recoil. It's resistant to fighting by 20. And if you combine this with the EV evolutions of Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon from Ancient Origin as well, that Golurk can become Psychic, Fighting, Lightning, Fire, and Water type, all with that 1 weakness to Darkness. So that's been my favorite dual-type Pokemon, at least in the standard format for like the past forever. But dual-type is going to be pretty interesting. What I probably am going to do is feature, I might go back and forth when the new set comes out. Feature some Break Evolutions, and then show some dual types, and just go back and forth, keep things interesting. Now, there's also going to be a change to the rules. Okay, actually, before I get into that, I do want to mention that with the new set coming out on August 3rd, of course, there's going to be a pre-release event at certain locations. Heroes Beacon, the Pokemon League there, will be holding a pre-release as well. It's going to be held on July 23rd, and as always, good old Professor Chaz is going to be there doing his Professory duties, but also recording a recap of the event, showcasing a lot of the new cards, and letting you know what goes on at a pre-release if you haven't attended one yet. I've done a video for the past, I think it was the past 2 pre-releases that we've had. Maybe even 3 now. I've been doing this channel for so long, I'm losing track of what I've done before. But anyway, if you're interested in attending a pre-release for this new set, feel free to check out Pokemon.com, look up the event locator. If you're in the area of Heroes Beacon in St. John, New Brunswick, feel free to check that out and sign up for that as well, because the more players we get, the more fun we're going to have, right? The more people you can trade with after the event. So I will be doing a pre-release video for that. But back to what I was going to say about a change to the rules and regulations for permitted expansions in Pokemon TCG tournaments. Normally what they've been saying is 3 weeks after the sale date of a new expansion, those cards become legal for use in Play Pokemon events. The slight change now is the 3rd Friday after the release date for a new expansion, the cards become legal. So it's still going to be almost about 3 weeks, but it's maybe shaving a few days off depending on what day of the week that the new expansion becomes available for. But what this does mean is the Pokemon World Championships being held in San Francisco, California on August 19th. I was going to mix those 2 things up there. But the Steam Siege expansion will be allowable in the World Championship, so we're going to get to see a lot of cool, interesting strategies. I don't know if people are going to have time to really incorporate them super well into their decks. We might not see much use of the new cards. Then again, we might. So it's going to be pretty interesting World Championships. Could be a lot of unexpected turn of events with whatever new cards come out. This could be the first time we get to see dual-type Pokemon used in battle for a long time in a big feature such as the World Championships. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Now, the only other thing I'm going to mention, I've gone through everything else, I've kind of been saving this till the end because there's been some issues regarding it, but if you haven't checked out Pokemon's YouTube channel or their online, the website and everything, there's some new stuff featured for Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, and it's kind of good that I didn't have time this weekend to talk about it because from what I've heard, people have been showing off the new trailer in their own personal videos, and they've been being claimed by Pokemon, which is totally understandable. It's Pokemon's trailer, right? So they want to make sure everyone checks theirs out. So I'm going to put a link in the description to the trailer. Feel free to check it out. But they have shown off the fact that in Pokemon Sun, Pokemon Moon, we're going to get the different Zygarde forms. That's right. Zygarde 10%, the little puppy dog version, is going to be featured in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, as well as the complete form of Zygarde. And with it comes a new attack. Now, they did show off that the 10% Zygarde is going to be able to use 1,000 arrows and 1,000 waves, two previously unusable attacks in Pokemon X and Y, or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. They were coded into the game from what I understand, but no Pokemon could learn them. Now, the 10% Zygarde is going to be able to use those. The complete form Zygarde has a new move called Core Enforcer, which in the trailer you can check it out, or in the trailer you can check it out. I'm getting stumbled on my words again. I always seem to do that. But if you check out the trailer, you can check out the Core Enforcer. It makes this nice little Z pattern on the ground, and it just kind of explodes around a Garchomp as you see in the trailer. And it makes a super effective sound, so it might be a Dragon-type attack. I believe 1,000 arrows and 1,000 waves are both ground-type. So Zygarde's going to have some nice stab, exclusive moves for itself once we get those different forms in the next games coming out for Gen 7 in holiday season of 2016. Now, I've been seeing people talk about, does that mean Zygarde is going to have some big role in this game? Like, is the Alola region somehow connected to Kalos? Is there something going on there synergy-wise? And I'm thinking, what this probably is just they're showing us that, yes, the two different other forms of Zygarde that we've been teasing you for this past while, you're going to be able to get them in these new games. Doesn't necessarily mean Zygarde's even going to feature story-wise into the game. It could just be showing off some footage saying, you'll get to use them. Now, I could be completely off base. Maybe Zygarde has a big connection to this new region that I'm not aware of. It'd be interesting if it did, because in a way, that would make it maybe the third legendary in this game. Who knows? Maybe Sun and Moon is going to have a third game that is going to be the Z version of the Pokemon X and Y, which people have been waiting for. This is all speculation out there. No one really knows. The other thing that you might have seen if you watch other YouTubers and follow Twitter and stuff like that, the Japanese magazine Koro Koro has released some more information about Sun and Moon coming up. I usually don't make a mention of the Japanese stuff before it comes over to America, simply because, let's talk about TCG for a second, we don't always get exactly the same card lists from a new set of Pokemon TCG that the Japanese expansions do. So I kind of don't want to feature something on the channel that might not happen here in America, North America I should say. But this is something, we know we're going to get these Pokemon. They're not going to be exclusive to any regions unless maybe someday they do something like that. But I'm not going to feature or talk too much about this new feature. Two Pokemon have been revealed, a little puppy dog version, which we've seen a slight little hidden image to in one of the trailers, and a koala Pokemon as well. Now, the koala Pokemon's been revealed. I think it said it's a normal type. It has an ability, from what I understand, that prevents any status condition other than sleep being inflicted on it. It's kind of interesting. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so burn, paralyze, poison, and freeze can't be added to this Pokemon, but it can fall asleep. The other Pokemon, the puppy dog, is a rock type, from what I understand, and not much more has been revealed. They just showed these Pokemon off. I'm not going to, as I say, talk too much about it, although I kind of already did. But feel free to check out other popular YouTubers out there. I'm sure everybody's talking about these Pokemon as they have been revealed. Now, time for the question of the day for the week. We're about to open up the Primal Clash booster pack. And as I say, I'm going to give out a question of the day. Feel free to answer this question in the comments below and add hashtag QOTD to your comment. You'll go into the running to get the code card. I will pull out of this momentarily when I do the drawing on Sunday, June 17th. Alright. Question of the day is, I think I've kind of asked this question before, I might not have, but it's something I've been wanting to ask if not. Question is, if you could add a new feature, or say gimmick, to the world of Pokemon, be it video game or TCG, what would it be? So we've been talking about adding new dual-type Pokemon into the Pokemon Steam Siege expansion, TCG. We've already had dual types before, so it's not a new thing, but it's new for the standard format. And what I would like to see is, personally, I might have mentioned this before, but I would really like to see a new status condition added to the video games, possibly trail over to the card game as well. That status would be petrification. A lot of RPGs that I played as a kid, you had the possibility of being turned to stone by your enemies. There was no way to cure that except for certain items or magic that would cure conditions like that. And petrification could work pretty well in the Pokemon world. Let's say it's almost like Freeze was in Gen 1. I'm pretty sure if you get frozen in Generation 1, there was no way to thaw out unless the opponent hit you with a fire move which would melt the ice. Other than that, I think you were frozen solid for the entire thing. Now, nowadays, from what I understand, you have a 1 in 5 chance, a 20% chance to thaw out at the end of each turn. For me, I would like to see if petrification was included, have either a less chance of healing from that or maybe no chance of healing from it. Only an item or a Pokemon move could heal that. However, they could play this up really well and have certain moves still maybe usable while petrified. Probably a rock type move could be used, and I would like to see if they do include something like this in the future. If a rock type gets petrified, it should have no downside. Like, petrification would be like freezing, in which you can't attack or do anything like that unless certain conditions are met. And I would like to see a rock type actually still be able to attack, do everything it normally can, but maybe gain defense boost from having that petrification. Basically like an extra layer of rock added to it. So this is all kind of crazy stuff, kind of wild ideas out there, but that's something I've been thinking of for a while. If you could petrify Pokemon, that would add a neat little new feature to the world of battling in Pokemon. So feel free to answer answer that question with your answer to the question of the day. If you could add a new feature into the world of Pokemon, card game or video game, what would it be? Leave that response down below, hashtag QOTD in the response. You have a chance to win the code card from Primal Clash, which we're going to open up in a moment. But I do want to mention some of the cards they've shown for the new Steam Siege, almost said Face Glide, for the new Steam Siege expansion featured on Pokemon.com. So let's take a look at those, and then we'll open up this pack. Now, naturally, we couldn't have a Pokemon TCG expansion called Steam Siege without the Steam Pokemon itself being featured, Volcanion, coming in the form of Volcanion-EX. With 180 HP, it is our first ever Fire and Water type Pokemon in the TCG, unless maybe one of the Delta species were Fire Water type. I'm not sure. I wasn't that well versed in the Pokemon card game back when the Delta species were a thing. But we see here with the ability Steam Up. Once during your turn, you may discard a Fire energy from your hand. If you do, during this turn, your basic Fire Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that's pretty nice. It's going to power up every Fire Pokemon you have, well, basic Fire Pokemon. 30 additional damage, not too bad. Volcanion could do that from the bench as well. And for a 2 Fire and a colorless, Volcanic Heat does 130 damage. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. Not that terrible of a drawback, maybe, because you could just retreat it, perhaps. Or anyway, it's going to be able to use the Steam Up and power up whatever other basic Fire Pokemon you bring up. And the other Dual-type Pokemon, now I thought maybe, since Dual-type is the new feature, they were going to reserve it for just Pokemon EX, but not at all. You see here, Bisharp is a Stage 1 Pokemon. With 100 HP, it is a Darkness and Metal type. So Retaliate for 1 energy, any type. 30 plus, if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack during his or her last turn, this attack does 60 more damage, so 90, not too bad. And Mach Claw does 60 damage for a Darkness and Colorless energy. This attack's damage isn't affected by resistance. And it'd be neat. Now, it will be neat when some of these dual-type Pokemon battle against things with resistance, because, for example, let's look at Bisharp itself. Fighting and Psychic. So Fighting Weakness, Psychic Resistance. If a dual-type Fighting and Psychic Pokemon were to hit Bisharp, you might be confused on how that applies, but you always apply the Weakness first and then Resistance. So if the attack was to do, say, 40 damage, you would first multiply it by 2 to get 80, and then subtract 20 for the Resistance. So that's how Weakness and Resistance will play out for dual-type Pokemon in the TCG. And an interesting item has been revealed as well, the Captivating Pokepuff. Your opponent reveals his or her hand. Put any number of basic Pokemon you find there onto your opponent's bench. Now, you could get some Pokemon down there with some low HP, for example, if they're running Night March, and if you have some, say, Greninja in play with some Water Shurikens, you can get some quick KOs using those. You can also do some bench damage, like spread damage, using things like Boom Burst of Noivern, and anything that can get some damage off on the bench Pokemon on the opposing side. Drop some low HP Pokemon using the Captivating Pokepuff, get some damage racked up, and possibly go for some KOs on some following turns. So now is the time for opening up the Primal Clash Pokemon TCG Booster Pack. And again, the question of the day, well, I'll give it to you at the end. I've already mentioned it. But for your chance to get the code card, I'm going to pull it in just one moment here. Answer the question of the day and use hashtag QOTD. And on Sunday, June 17th, I'll draw one random comment that has used the hashtag. You'll win that code card. So let's check out the luck of the draw from this particular pack. Now, I haven't mentioned this in a while, but I've seen other people doing some pack openings recently. I like to do it backwards like this because sometimes when you're opening it face forward, you get to see the edge of a Pokemon EX card before you get to it. Doing it this way, I have no idea what I'm going to get right until we get to that last card. Anyways, let's start with a Clamperl. I also have a Solrock, Chinchou, Mudkip, and Spinda. Now, something else I haven't mentioned is I'm still trying to see if I can get some dive balls out of this expansion. I have stopped looking for them for the past little while, but some of the decks I put together would really benefit from some more water-type Pokemon searching cards. So we find a Doublade. Here is Professor Birch's Observation. Still a pretty decent card. Not a dive ball, but we now find Vibrava. And the reverse foil card is going to be a Hippowdon. Resistance Desert. That's actually good against Pokemon EX. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon by Pokemon EX. And the rare card of the Primal Clash booster pack is a Ancient Trait Whiscash with Alpha Growth. You can actually get this card from one of the theme decks for this expansion. Alpha Growth allows you to attach a second energy to this Pokemon when you attach one per turn. Water Gun does 40, Earthquake does a powerful 120, and does 20 to each of your benched Pokemon. Of course, a Mr. Mime Bench Barrier or a Mountain Ring Stadium could prevent all that recoil. So that is what I got out of the booster pack. For your chance to win this code card, once again, answer the question of the day. If you could add a new feature into the world of Pokemon, being either in the card game or video game, what feature would that be? Answer that question with hashtag QOTD in your comment, and on Sunday, June 17th, I will draw one lucky comment to receive the code card from this booster pack. With all that, I want to say thank you for checking out today's news update video. Kind of lengthy compared to some of the other ones recently, but there was a lot of good information to get out there. And come on back to the channel tomorrow as we finally take on the Elite Four of Kanto in Pokemon Blue. I've made you wait long enough. We're getting into that right now, well, tomorrow. Anyway, once again, thank you for checking out the news update video today, folks, and I'll catch you next time.